Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, so Kevin McCarthy announced that he is retiring from Congress at the end of the year. The speculation in the news sources is basically this is a giant FU to the Republican Party and especially to the Freedom Caucus for the way he was treated with being removed as the speaker. Allies of McCarthy were saying it's understandable. It would be hard on him to be removed from the speakership and lose all that influence and want to maintain being in Congress like he said he was going to be doing, serve out his term. Another thing of interest is that McCarthy, from what I was hearing, accounts for about 70% accounts for a majority of the Republican funding. He raises a lot of money from very wealthy people, and that accounts for something about 70% of fundraising. Or if he stopped fundraising, the GOP would lose about 70% of their fundraising, which is a huge hit, especially coming into an election year. Lastly, and this is the one I'm most curious about in looking this up. If McCarthy formalizes his retirement before 5 p.m. on Friday, then Gavin Newsom will need to call a special election to fill McCarthy's seat. If McCarthy does not file his formal documentation before Friday at 5 p.m., then Gavin Newsom can leave the seat open. So all eyes are on McCarthy now to see when does he file his paperwork, because that'll tell you just how big an FU we're talking about here. If it's, I'm going on to start my next career and he files his stuff by 5 p.m. on Friday, well then it's really not that big of a deal for the GOP because they'll be down a vote for a while, but Newsom will eventually have to have a special election to replace him. If he decides to wait till like Monday at 9 a.m. or beyond, he really is trying to screw over the GOP for I'm assuming, the betrayal of his authority. And their majority now goes down another person. There's another Republican named Bill Johnson who's planning on retiring, and I'll read on him in a different reading. And he has to be out by March 15th. So between Santos, McCarthy, and this other guy who is going to start as a university chancellor by March of next year, their majority of 4 or 5 is going to be like 1 or 2. Okay, so let's look at the energy around McCarthy stepping down and retiring from Congress. Entertainment purposes only. What's McCarthy thinking? Why is he announcing this? Why is he choosing to do this now? Queen of Cups. It's the message. It's very stark message. This is the you effed around and now you're going to find out. This is not the warm fuzzy card. This is the cold calculating card. It's like, okay, I told you not to do that. You did that. Here's your punishment. Just it's cold. It's logic. It's there. There's no love or passion there. It's just cold stuff. And crossed by, he's going to go do something different. He might be a lobbyist or something along those lines. I think, it's kind of like Congress was a lot of work. It was a lot of headache. I wanted to be, the Speaker of the House and be in charge. You told me no, fine. I'm picking up my marbles and going, and I'm taking all the money with me because I'm going to start doing the stuff that I want to do. And he'll get to enjoy all that money that he can raise and all the power and influence that he has. He doesn't want to go. He wanted to be Speaker of the House, but the betrayal of the Freedom Caucus for him. McCarthy has been described as a bully, punching people in the back, that type of thing. And he's also petty. He's just a petty MF. And he's just like, okay, you did this to me. I'm doing that to you. Everybody loses. Hope you're happy. Because I'm not happy. And if I'm not happy, you're not going to be happy either. In the past, the Six of Swords. You tell me to leave, I'm leaving. But you thought I was only going to, leave the speakership and not leave Congress. I think he's been thinking about this for a while. And contemplating what his next move was going to be. And again, I believe that McCarthy is petty, and he is not above exacting revenge, and that's exactly what he's doing in this situation. He's leaving the tumult that is the House right now, and he's going to go smooth sailing, doing the stuff that he enjoys doing, and everybody else can deal with the consequences because it's not his circus or his monkeys anymore. Did he agonize over this decision? No, I think he's disappointed, upset. He's upset that it ever came to this in the first place. And because they made his life difficult to the point where he wanted to leave, he's going to make their lives really difficult and nightmarish. He knew that there were challenges on there, but now with Santos gone, he's leaving, another guy retiring, it's going to be really difficult for the Republicans to do anything because, heaven forbid anybody be sick in an accident or unable to vote. They're stuck. How's he going to cause some nightmares? He's keeping all the money. He is clamping down on the funds, on the funding. This is a giant screw you to the Freedom Caucus. He's going to just think of the money coming through is like a garden hose or a fire hose, and he just kinked the hose. It's going to go from a fire hose to a trickle. He's holding on to all the cash. And where there's money, where there's wealth, there's power. Yeah, he's going to go on. He's going to go on to his victories, and he is going to his goal is, he's writing off victorious. You go from Six of Swords to the Six of Wands. He'll probably do all right for himself. He'd probably be a successful lobbyist and stuff like that. And these victories are going to be withheld from the Republican Party because they don't have the financing to continue to finance their victories. Yeah, the gerrymandered seats and the red districts that are safe will continue to be safe, but folks in swing districts and stuff like that, they're not going to have the money to fight for their seats. As it currently stands, I don't know the exact numbers, but when I've sort of breezed through articles, there's like 15 to 20 Republicans that are in swing districts. Expect that like 80% of those folks will lose their positions. So you're looking at the Democrats picking up probably 10 to 15 seats when McCarthy takes all the money with him. Just because the swing district folks, and this is everything else being equal. This is them just not having the money. When you throw in Trump's shenanigans and the abortion and stuff like that, it could very well be those 15 to 20 are all going to lose their seats, and the Democrats pick everything up. But he's making sure that they don't have the money to get that victory. The outcome is the Seven of Wands. The Republicans are going to have to fight like hell, where some things might have been easy for them. They're now going to have to fight like hell. And McCarthy is going to... The Republicans will come after McCarthy for the betrayal, but he's up for the fight. He's gone. He's taken a walk. You told me you didn't want me? I left. I took my money with me too, by the way. So I'm going to go on to my victory, and he'll start doing whatever he's doing to advance his political agenda, whatever that ends up looking like. But this move is purely to benefit Kevin McCarthy and is a power play on Kevin McCarthy's part. Yep. Okay. Let's see. So that's why McCarthy is leaving. That's the energy around his announcements. Let's throw a little quick four-carder here. Will McCarthy file... When will he file his paperwork? You know, he has until 5 p.m. Friday to file it so that a special election is called. Is he going to file it before 5 p.m. on Friday or after? What's the energy around his filing of his leaving of Congress? That really will tell you about that 4 of coins and the 9 of swords, right? I'm guessing he's going to do it after that. 9 of swords would tell me he's not going to do it before Friday. Let's do a 4-carder. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. We got the Magician, the Hermit, the 3 of coins. We got the Hillbilly Drunken Brawl. He's not going to let anybody know. He is not telling a soul when he's planning on doing it. There might be some backroom dealings going on, trying to convince him to file his paperwork before then. But this is going to cause mayhem in the House. There's going to be a lot of arguing, bickering, and fighting. You got Donald Trump here on the one hand, and the Magician on the other. He's not going to file it before 5 p.m. on Friday. He's not filing it. He's waiting. He's leading them on. So, he's in negotiations to do that, just to F with them. He is f***ing with them. But he's not going to do it because screw Donald Trump. And he doesn't have to. He can do whatever he wants. You know what? The Magician trumps the King of Pentacles. And yeah, you want to throw some money and stuff. We can talk money and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. I'll be surprised. I will be really surprised if he signs that off before 5 p.m. on Friday. He's not going to do it. He's trolling. Oh my God, that's been the theme of the week, is just trolling. He's absolutely trolling the Freedom Caucus. He's holding money back. And now he's going to also hold back his position so that they don't have that majority in Congress. Oh man, what a bastard. It's funny because he's leaving. But this is why, this is why the Democrats wouldn't trust him either, because he's not a man of his word. He's got both sides of his mouth. And he's petty. All right. Okay, so McCarthy is leaving. He's not going to file his paperwork before 5. Pausing just for a second so I can figure out the question. Okay, next question is, will McCarthy get his revenge on Matt Gaetz with the Ethics Committee? Will he get his revenge on Matt Gaetz, who led the charge of having him revoked? And he's basically saying that Gaetz is should be in prison, basically. So will he get his revenge on Matt Gaetz before he leaves Congress? Let's look at the energy around that. Because that's all gossipy, isn't it? Entertainment purposes only. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the timing is such that Gaetz is going to start going through some things before the end of the year. Because his McCarthy's timing is with the Justice card here. And Temperance. Well, it may not happen before he's gone, but McCarthy is absolutely aware of what the committee is doing. The committee is probably doing a very thorough investigation of Matt Gaetz and his behaviors. And it might be taking some time to get through the ethics committee and the investigation into it, but it's because they're doing a thorough job. It's going to be a huge burden on Gaetz when this comes out. Gaetz is in for some big... Matt Gaetz is in some big trouble coming in. I don't know if this is necessarily, if the Justice card is for a congressional investigation. This could also be a federal investigation. And maybe they're coordinating the two of them. In the past, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This probably has something to do with Matt Gaetz's Venmoing and money. It may not be campaign finance per se, but it's him offering money. It could be campaign finance stuff. It's finance stuff, whether campaign finance or his Venmo stuff. But he's been, offering money around, bribes, stuff like that. Again, you don't ask for a blanket pardon from Donald Trump unless you've been doing something wrong. And it has something to do with January 6th. He might have been a big player in January 6th leading up to the insurrection and then involved in the insurrection. That, or we're talking about Matt Gaetz with campaign finance, and he's starting to reduce from a knight to a page. There's looks like there's a reduction here of the strength of the past to the current state. It's assuming that this isn't Kevin McCarthy, which could also be Kevin McCarthy bringing a lot of money into the GOP and now less money. But this is was McCarthy going to exact his revenge on that? We're seeing a diminishing here. Let's see. Okay, so now, yeah, okay, this is going to be about, okay, this is about Gaetz. This is about Gaetz diminishing in power and wealth, but I think it's also money-related things. And it's tied with Donald Trump. Again, we mentioned that blanket pardon that I was asking for before Trump left office. You don't ask for a blanket pardon if you haven't broken the law. This might also go back to, again, the Joel Greenberg stuff that happened in Florida, but there's some finance stuff that Matt Gaetz is guilty of. It's, we know that he was showing pornographic pictures of women on the House floor. There were some concerns that maybe one of these women was underaged. Somebody had brought that up. That's a possibility here. Here he is showing off everything, but now here's a young person he showed off to, and I think that might be one of the problems. So it's money, or it's something of value, and that value is kind of the showing off that he was doing. I still think it's money. The lesson to be learned is all the money. They're following the money. Following the money. Yeah, there's the sharing of pictures of women, naked women and stuff like that, maybe even underage ones potentially, that's distasteful. That'll probably get you censured but not kicked out. But I think there's a bunch of financial stuff that's coming through, and it's a lot of money that's coming through there, and I think that's what's going to be his bigger problem. This is funny. This is the same card that McCarthy had. This, I think, is McCarthy's revenge. It's like, you made me unhappy on mine, so I'm going to make you unhappy. This could also be Matt Gaetz realizing he just effed up. He probably would have been better. And I think what it is that Kevin McCarthy was the ally that Matt Gaetz never wanted, but the ally that he needed. Again, Matt Gaetz is going to go through some things. They might boot. This might be something where he could be expelled from Congress. I think he's going to get expelled from the GOP. And this is going to impact his ability to be reelected and such. That's an interesting one. Let's get one clarifier on that card. Yeah, he's going to be kicked out of the GOP. And when he's out of the GOP, he also won't have all that GOP funding. Here you go. The GOP funding card. He won't have that funding to run a successful re-election campaign. They'll primary his butt, and they'll dump a bunch of money into a primary opponent for Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz will be gone. It might be another MAGA person that replaces him, but it won't be Matt Gaetz. That'll be the representative. That's what you get when you don't play nice in the sandbox. This is just this is petty power gaming going on in the Republican Party. This is how dysfunctional that they are. Okay, so McCarthy, he's taking the money with him. Not going to file by Friday, and he's going to get his just desserts with Matt Gaetz. He's going to make sure Matt Gaetz pays the price for his betrayal. Anything else with McCarthy? What about his lieutenant Marjorie Taylor Greene? How is she going to react with McCarthy leaving? Because she went full she went full out to be like his right-hand man as she was trying to convince Trump to be his VP choice. And now all of a sudden McCarthy is out of power. He's leaving. And Mike Johnson is now the person in charge. And she hasn't aligned herself with Mike Johnson. She cannot keep up with the changing tides. How is this going to impact Marjorie Taylor Greene's political aspirations? Or what does she feel about McCarthy leaving and everything like that? Remember, she got booted out of the Freedom Caucus too. So she's not. She doesn't. Who is she going to have her lunch with? Who is Marjorie Taylor Greene going to be eating lunch with? She's going to go through some things too. Her whole political career just got crushed because she made the wrong choice. Not that there's any right choices, but she's making the wrong choices. She went with McCarthy. McCarthy is crashed and out of favor, and now she's going to be out of favor. Because she's been shown to be two-faced. MAGA doesn't want her because she's not really MAGA, even though she acts like it. She tried to basically distance herself from MAGA to be more of a traditional Republican, and then that didn't work out. So it's kind of hard to go back to MAGA because they know you're not one of them. You're self-serving. So she's got a bunch of options that she doesn't like. Do I sit with the nerds at the nerd table talking about computer games? Oh, I can't sit with the Democrats. The independents don't want me. Maybe she can find the Moms of Liberty table or something along those lines. No, she doesn't like what's left, and they don't like her. Can I be your friend? No. Oh, no. Marjorie, you weren't true to yourself. You're just being an opportunist. Yeah, she tried to keep a little bit of a lower profile and come across as more introspective. But I think now that everything's going on with McCarthy, she tried to keep a lower profile, and she's been coming out saying how, she helped get rid of Joe Biden and this. She's trying to take claims for stuff, and it ain't flying. I don't think the Freedom Caucus is fine not having her back in the Freedom Caucus. Current situation, Seven of Swords. She's trying to look for her next opportunity for power and to do a power grab or take credit for stuff that she hasn't done. So she's been plotting what her next move is going to be, and she's going to try and enact that next move. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because everybody knows that she's a false friend. She'll stab you in the back. She'll steal your homework and take credit for it, stab you in the back, and they're going to return the favor to her. She's going to try and talk with people behind the scenes, saying how she can work with them to get stuff done. But I think no. This isn't her trying to do that. This is them talking behind her back. We don't need her. She's just a prima donna. She's just a mean girl. We don't need this person. We can do it without her. Marjorie Taylor Greene is yesterday's news. We know who she is. She as soon as she saw where the power was, that's where she went. She's not a true friend. She's a false friend. We don't need her. We can progress without her. And they will probably, you'll probably start to see a little bit of warring between Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Freedom Caucus. She is going to go out there saying that she's been working on deals and fighting for the American people. So I think she's going to reinvent herself again as some kind of crusader. That's what I think she's going to try to do. But she's not going to have the Freedom Caucus's support. She doesn't have any options. So I think she's going to go full Sarah Palin and now become a maverick. Because she's already done the Freedom Caucus. She's tried to do the traditional conservative, the maverick, the John McCain type maverick or position, or the one that Sarah Palin tried to take on, is where she's going to go. So Sarah Palin, just as a background, yeah, I'll remember her. What I remember reading on her back in the day was that she was running for she was in politics in Alaska and was voted out. And so she ran for governor as like a political maverick, bucking the system. And it just so happened there were problems with the incumbent candidate or scandal or something like that. So somehow she got in because of issues with the other candidate. And somehow, she had this brand of being a maverick, which is one of the reasons why they wanted to hook her up with John McCain as his VP running mate. But she never was. She was always an establishment person, but she had no other card to play. So that was the only card she could play, and it worked. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think, is going to do the same thing. Let's put a sticky note on that one, a pin on it, and we'll see if Marjorie Taylor Greene becomes the newest maverick crusader to fight for common decency for the American people and the working class and yada 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 yada. This GOP is a mess. Okay, folks. I'm going to wrap it up here. It's a long enough reading. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with me for this half hour. Thanks for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for doing everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so that my readings make it out to a wider audience. To newer viewers to the channel, welcome. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.